Alrighty, so this is going to be a in-depth tutorial of the Notbot on Discord, and I'll be covering how the AI works, strategies, team comps, what works, what doesn't work, and generally on how to make the most out of your current team. This will not be covering basic bot commands and all that, mainly just battle stuff. So, assuming that you know the basic commands. Oops. So each character has its own set of skills. Every character has 2 skills, and it's categorized in 3 different kinds of sets. Attackers are the first line. Second line is support slash healers, and third line is tanks. And each character is completely different from everything else. And just because you have a higher rarity does not mean the character is better than previous ones. So let's see Ava real fast. I forgot the command. What have I done? 1 second. Huh? An abandoned moment. I'm so good. What? How? Why? How? How did I forget this? Okay, so Ava is the first starter character that you get. Um, it looks like that doesn't actually work, does it? It does not. Okay, so I'll be hopping up in a different spam to show you certain things. So, Ava's pretty much one of the first characters you're guaranteed to get. And the best possible way to use her is to only attack when Air Blades is up. You only want to attack when that specifically is up. So you make the most of her damage. You can usually get one attack of Air Blades off, because when the skill says 2 turns, the first turn that you click the skill and use it, that counts as 1 turn. Just that's an important distinction to make. And she works really well with characters like Izumi. Doesn't seem like the character slash commands work just yet. Okay, that's fine. Because Izumi increases your well, if it debuff pretty much clears any buffs the enemy has. So if they have an attack buff, if they have a crit buff, anything like that, it'll clear that, give you a damage buff. So Izumi works really well with Ava, but in battles, it's super important to always have a tank. Tanks are the most important unit in the game by a lot. And each tank, as I said earlier, is completely different. So it's important to use a tank that fits your playstyle. And there is a common bot called Owo, which, if you're familiar with how that base works, there is like Blitz, there is like a meta team, or like a sustain kind of thing, a debuff team. The same idea sort of applies here, but this is a lot more advanced and more complicated. So for the skills, they cost battle points, and you get battle points when you hit an enemy, which is the amount of BP, the battle points you get per hit on enemy is based off of your character's base attack stat. And you get a bunch of battle points at the end of every turn. So, that being said, you want to have a good balance of your attack damage, like a good balance of attack, sustain, and being able to keep your tank alive. Because if your tank goes down, you're not in a good spot. And Aiden is a pretty good tank for beginners because he can heal himself by a lot of HP. And there is also something that influences balance tremendously, which are pets. Each pet will do something specific. Let me see if I even the command for this. Okay, so lions increase damage by 5%. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it can change. Like if Amy got heal, it could completely even out that heal, so it could make a big difference. You would want to pick a pet that influences how you want to play. So if you really like using healers, then a pet that gives you healing power would be incredibly helpful. Let's see if I butterfly heal. Yes, 10% increased heal, which is a big. It'll make a huge difference. Your heals would be pretty freaking good. So that part. Oh, whoops. That part of it. Since that part's out of the way, now's the time to make a starter team. So usually I'm gonna make it a quick team with only the base characters. And I'll probably go through maybe between 3 and 5 different team comps that will work depending on if you're playing the game carefully and making the most of your team. Because all characters are 100% viable, but not all characters. All characters are 100% viable, but only if you use them on how they're meant to be used. So if you don't use Ava's air blades, for Ava sucks. There's a few characters that you can get away by using only basic attacks, but it would still not make the most. It would not make the character shine as much as it can. So, Ava, let's add Ava to our team, and let's do Izumi also. So, whoops, did I do the command wrong? I think I did. Yes, I did. Izumi 2. Voila. Okay. So now we need to pick a tank. Usually if we have two Kagas, that's gonna be one Kaga's gonna be buffing the other one, and the other one's gonna be nuking. You'll probably want a high HP pool tank or a tank that can defense up. So Ethan would be a pretty decent choice. Because of his mud camouflage. So once he's low HP, you can trigger that, and it'll probably push him for another turn. But other than that, he's kind of squishy. Feedback isn't. It's pretty good if you use it very carefully. So typically, any skill or a Kaga that can heal, I recommend only using heal if you are either around 50% HP or around 40% HP. Don't use it. If you're using it lower than that, you're probably gonna die. Unless you are watching how much damage they do to you and hope they don't get a crit. And then other than that, that's typically the best times to use a heal is 50% HP. So feedback would be generally also that. Also, Ethan would be good for this too because he doesn't need a healer. He can self-sustain himself. So let's use Ethan as well and see on how this team works. Whoops. There you go. Okay. So, our current team is, what the heck? Current team is Ava, Izumi, and Ethan. These are all characters you can get really easily, and they're all pretty good. I'm gonna change my pet to a starter pet. And a good pet for this team comp would probably be a crit or a damage pet. Crits are good for characters who get buffed and or do a lot of hits. So crits be really good for Ava. But it is a chance thing. So using a character that can attack more than once, it would essentially even out the chances so you actually do more damage. So let's find a pet that's crit, because I don't remember which one is. I think it's a lizard, I'm not sure though. Nope, that's battle points, okay. 1 second. Beaver. That's armor. Beaver's pretty okay for characters like Yuval. Because usually for the characters and pets, you want to have a pet that helps the character main what makes him show off the most. You want to get that stat and hit it high. So for Yuval, it would be armor. For Ethan, it would be armor. Characters who have a higher armor than most characters put armor on them. That's generally the best possible thing you can do. I know Unicorn is heal. Is it fish? Oh, kind of loud. Which one is crit? There we go. Okay, let's have an octopus. So this is a common octopus. Which octopus is pretty good. I don't use an octopus because when you merge pets, they actually have merge stats. So if you're gonna go for damage, look for a damage and a crit one. Octopus. What? I forgot. Whoops. Octopus. Common. There we go. Okay. So team is currently this. This is the current team. All characters you can get. Super easy pet you can get too. Now, to show, here's the battles. Green signifies that, oh wow, I guess this is a brand new thing. I'm not quite sure what the green signifies yet, because it's been a little bit since I've played this. But always, and at the beginning of every 3 turns, including the first, this is a taunt, so you always want to click this to immediately taunt, which makes all the enemies' attacks by base hit your tank. You have to do this. It's essential. Okay, so it looks like green signifies that they have not gone, and red signifies they have gone. Okay, so for Ava, typically you always want to pop the air blades ASAP. Every time. And for Izumi, since Izumi takes out enemy buffs, normally you wouldn't want to use Tsunami or Hailstorm, unless the enemy has like some kind of buff. Hailstorm only increases Izumi's damage by herself. I'm pretty sure anyway. So I'm gonna do Tsunami to buff my Ava also. And now we want to attack with Ava. So as you can see, hits all enemies for quite a decent amount of damage compared to everything. So you just want to rinse and repeat that. Oh, my headset just went off for 1 second. Okay, you want to repeat that over and over and over. And if you do it sparingly and keep an eye out who has gone and who hasn't gone, you can be completely fine. For this, okay, so here's a good point. Enemies have a buff. These 2 are buffs. So I can actually clear this. There you go. So the enemies have no buffs, and I got. Oh wait, it looks like it clears my buffs also. Oh, I think it did anyway. But now I don't have enough BP. So points like this, what you want to do is that you want to just attack with your characters to get enough BP to cast Air Blades as soon as possible. It seems like I'm not doing too well because there's 2 tanks. I think that, yeah, they're altering. Yeah, this fight might be a bust, but I'm still gonna put my best effort in here. Yeah, 2 tanks suck. But if you can't buff Ava, just do normal Air Blades and just keep attacking with your Izumi, because it's the best thing you can do. If Ava has Air Blades, it does not matter which one you pick, because you're gonna hit all of them no matter what. So Ava is pretty much an anti-tank to a certain degree, because you can completely ignore tank's taunt. Of course, you'll probably still be forced to attack that person, but you'll still attack everything. Yeah, looks like I'm not gonna be winning this, but it's gonna be close. Yeah, 2 tanks suck. Yeah, feedback for Ethan. If you hit him, well, he hurts back. So, oh, actually, no, wait, no, never mind. That it used to do that. Looks like it got a rework, but I'm gonna die probably from feedback, aren't I? Yeah, it looks like I'm not gonna win this. Tornado is pretty good. But you can't really sustain Tornado because the Keiko's gonna attack the next turn, and you don't get enough BP to keep using it, which sucks. See? Yeah, it was close. But yeah, 2 tanks are usually quite rough, and the enemy levels are based off of your average, I believe. So me having level 14 and level 5, it's not exactly a good thing to do. So when you level up a different character, you either A, have to have one character that can do a massive amount of damage to offset the HP increase, and I believe there is catch-up XP too. So do a couple battles if you can, and if you want to level a character, just do that. Here's another important thing. So there is manuals in ranked battles, and ranked battles are automatic. So ranked battles are based off of, well, it's right here, but I'll explain it in simpler terms. It will check your current situation, and it will make actions based off of what you have made in the past. So, for example, if you're fighting an Ethan, a tank, and he used a skill, if you respond to his skill with a heal consistently, in future, when that Ethan uses a skill on automatic on rank battles, your character will automatically try to heal. Your character will not heal if you, well, it'll be less keen, very less keen to heal if your character is full HP already. More than likely, it will not heal. So you always want to heal when your character is around 50% HP to make the most of the heal. You can do higher, especially with Chiron. He has a regeneration ability. I highly recommend using that the second second turn. Just use the regeneration, and then stretch it out. So it'll be like a tag thing. And when he'll hit you, then you'll heal the same turn over and over and over and over. Chiron is a really good tank. There's not really anything bad about him. If you get him, I highly recommend using him. He's better overall than most tanks in almost every way, because he has the highest HP pool out of everything. And he can regenerate himself by quite a good amount. So if you pair him with a healer that gives regeneration, if the healer attacks Chiron, that would stack and it would just be crazy amounts of heal every turn. It would be phenomenal. So now that we show a battle of this team comp, let's make another one. Um, okay, so, Fulvia is a tank buster. She pretty much does, if she targets tanks, she does, her skills make it so the tank is super weak. Huge amount of damage. Only downside is that once the tank is dead, she doesn't really shine all that much anymore. So you would have to burn down the tank and then sustain your team after the tank is dead, because the damage dealer and or the healer would start causing you some issues, considering that you didn't hit them with AoE. Um, but Fulvia is really good for if you can break down the tank and you have a backup DPS. She would be incredibly good. And she doesn't cost that much battle points either. So let's use her. Character Fulvia 1. Okay, so we need a backup DPS. So feel like probably someone who can do AoE or another high damage single hitter. I want to stick around with Cactus and below, so I'm not going to use the mythics. Let's use Chiron. So show Chiron. Wait, god dang it, wrong thing. Team, character, Chiron, 3. Whoops. I don't know why I don't know how I'm forgetting this. Okay, there you go. So Chiron is number 3. Inja would be a pretty decent support also, because she's very flexible. You can heal one person at once, or you can heal all of them at once. And the heals change between, so if you heal everyone, that heal would be less than one person. Unless you have a healing pet, which it may actually be more beneficial healing everyone than healing one person at a time. Especially with a high, like maybe an epic healing pet, that would be very, very good. She also does dot damage too, which is not that bad either. So I guess we can use Inja. Inja 2. So, currently we have this. And now all we need is a pet that fits between all of these. This might be a rough battle because I'm level 14 and level 2. But, this is just the idea. I'm not expecting to win these because I played this for a while and my levels on some characters are just weird. So, like, if I try to use level 20 and like with level 1s, I'm gonna get lulled because my damage deals won't be high enough. So, now we need a pet. Okay, so Fulvia does a lot of damage on tanks, Inja does not damage, and Chiron is a self-sustaining tank. For cases like this, where each character is kind of a standalone unit, it's not crazy important what pet you pick. So normally I would recommend a mythic pet that gives 2 stats. So teams like this who don't excel in a very specific area, it makes the most of them. So you can kind of like bump up 2 areas and even out. But for this one, probably a BP pet so I can keep skills coming out. I believe the snake, no, lizard is a BP pet, right? Yes. Okay. So, whoops. Okay. So, we have a BP pet, which will increase the amount of BP we get when we hit stuff and at the end of every turn. So it lets us use more skills. So let's do a battle. So, as always, you always want to taunt. Always, always, always. Important note, Billion is a big threat. He will cause many problems if you don't focus on him. And Yara revives people. So, you want to kill Yara always. Healers usually want to go before DPSs unless it's Billion. But in this rare case, we need to kill Yara first. Because if we don't, it's going to cause a lot of problems very quickly. Because he has an AoE an AoE damage skill, which can do a lot of damage very, very quickly. Let's see. Aiden has a lot of armor. So, for characters who have a lot of armor, do Volcano instead of Flame to make the most of your damage. Earth Golems, each individual character has their own Earth Golem. So, you would have to just... It's pretty much just an RNG game for Brilliant sometimes. Since his tank didn't happen to do attention, that helps us a lot. So we can actually attack the healer. And hopefully kill the healer before our characters die. So okay, he did Quake, which is probably the best thing he could have done at that point. Since my character's got low HP, I went and healed, and now I'm in a pretty decent spot. Kinda. The golems are still there, so every turn I'm gonna get hit for a lot of damage. Select the unit. Okay. Since I reduced Aiden's, I probably shouldn't do that, but to make the most of my buff, the debuff I put on him, so his armor disappeared. So I dealt really good damage for him. Looks like this is going to go quite well, I think. I don't think I'm going to kill Yara, so I'm going to hit Billion. Oh, maybe had attention, looks like it. Yep, maybe he had attention. Okay, so I'm going to heal again. Because if he does another Quake, it's gonna hurt. I want to volcano the enemy again. And then Chiron. I don't need to heal. I probably should heal. Do I have enough? Well, I don't know. Okay, well, Headwind's good too. If you can't afford Southwind, but you have to do some more damage, Headwind would be really good. Typically, you want to use Attention for turn 1 and then Headwind turn 2. So they're forced to take Thorns damage. And if you get hit by high damage dealers, like some Shattered Kegel, the Mythic Kiana, it would hurt them a lot. So it's definitely a huge benefit. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna be doing any damage to her. Yeah, the golems are tearing me up, but yeah, if I can kill Yar, I can probably just focus Billion, and then if I can kill Billion, I should be okay. But clearly, Yar is causing some issues here. Okay, great, she's dead. So the hard part's done. Now I just need to kill Billion before. Oh well, I might die this turn. Because of Billion, oh boy. Yeah. I think I might win this. Yeah, I'm gonna heal now. You can only use Attention 3 times every battle, which is an important thing to know. So right after 36, right after turn 9, what happens is that tanks on you literally don't have the choice to use Attention anymore. So it looks like I'm no, that can't be good. Yeah, the levels are what's tripping me off. But yeah, I mean this is definitely a bust. But yeah, can't really show on how good a certain team comp shines because of my inflated levels, like the 14-9 and the 2. But usually when you just start, you wouldn't be finding enemies like 8-10 levels higher than you. So if you're like level 1, you'll probably find enemies around level 3 and 5, maybe 6 and 7 at the absolute highest. So that's a lot more. It will work a lot better. Some characters simply counter another one. They just do. For example, Billion, if you don't have Ava with your air blades, doing enough damage to offset the golems is going to be tricky. Simply because you need to hit the entire team, but the golems kind of like stake there on each individual character, doing dot damage every single turn until you get rid of them. It's an issue. Let's make one more team and then do one more battle, and I think that's going to be the wrap for this tutorial. I'm going to show the skills for the forgot what variety, the green characters. I'm going to show the skill for these characters so you guys know on what to do if you encounter them. So, Earthquake is a big issue because it's a lot of damage in an AoE in one turn. It's a huge amount of damage. So, having a good AoE healer will keep this alive, and it would help a lot. That's pretty much the only way to really handle this, is having a good AoE healer. For golems, Izumi and Micah both have a skill that, actually no, Micah has a skill that can nullify the Earth Golems, which is the same rarity as Bullion. So if you happen to get a Bullion, I would highly recommend using them because they'll make your games a whole lot easier. But if you find a Micah, Gust could change the battle very quickly because it would completely knock off your Earth Golems. A good way to use Bullion is use Golems turn 1, and then turn 2, use Quake. Quake has a cooldown. I believe it's 2 or 3 turns. Like 1 or 2 turns, something like that. So it does have a cooldown, keep in mind that. So you can't spam it. And you used to be able to spam it, it wasn't really fair. Because if an AI in rank just happened to hit you 2 times in a row with an Earth Fissure, your team would get wiped before you could do anything. It would suck. But Micah would help fix the golems completely. Ava's air blades for the golems, it will not hit all the golems. So when Bullion summons golems, each individual character has their own. So, if you use an AoE skill, since your character has a golem, your AoE skill will effectively be wasted on one golem. It will not hit all of them. So, if that's the case, I would recommend waiting until your golem breaks and or clear it with Izumi. Actually, I believe Izumi can clear it, right? Pause effects. I think Izumi can clear golems. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure she can. What do you think? Is there anything else that's important? Chloe is important too, because she's a common. She shines because of her flat path. This would also increase Ava's damage substantially. Like, a lot. And if you slap a damage or crit pet on her with that, it'll increase even more. So, Ava can do upwards of 500 damage with Chloe at a very low level. Depending if you have a damage pet, or actually, damage pet, or a low damage pet, a medium to high tier damage pet, or a low crit pet, she could do around 500 damage. The crit will actually do more damage than the damage if the crit triggers, but I suppose that's probably, I mean, it makes sense. But crit is a chance, and the higher tier crit pet is, the higher chance of a crit actually happening. So if you don't want to try to do an RNG, just do a regular damage pet so it's more consistent. But as always, a crit can be completely nuts if you get like them in a row. It's crazy damage. So let's run a match with Chloe with Ava. So Team Cake. Whoops. Whoops. Okay. There we go. Oh God, come on. Okay. I believe I had a healing pet, which I don't want to. Oh, I have a BP pet. BP should be okay. I'm not. I don't think I'm using that much because I'm using Air Blades and I'm using Flat Path. That's my only two skills. Yeah, that should be fine. You only really want a BP pet if you're planning on using a lot of skills, but the BP pet is kind of redundant if you don't have a high damage single hitter, such as a Shattered character, specifically Lilith, or Ava can get you a lot of BP too. I'm pretty sure that each individual character you hit, you get BP based off of that. It used to be like that. Actually, used to be so crazy where you could get like hundreds of BP in a few rounds. Just absolute, it's crazy. So let's just do a quick battle with this. You don't want Lizard. You probably want a crit pet. Actually, yeah, I'll change that pet to make this build shine the most. Was Snake a crit? Yes, it is great. So, I forgot the command. God dang it. Is this? What in crying out loud? Team Pet Snake coming. Thank you. Okay. So, my level's on 2. Okay, this should be good. I'm finding a Micah, which is a support character, a tank, and a cleansing DPS character. So pretty much a hybrid. So as always, you want to do attention, and then here comes the buff. So let's run a no luck, and then right after that, you want to run an Air Blades. There we go. So Chloe has buffed Ava, and the enemy did not do any defense ups. So now we just want to nuke him for a lot. It's a lot of damage. And if I need to heal, then I can heal, but I don't need to because my health isn't below half. So that should be perfectly fine. I can just keep hitting them. Looks like I'm still fine. So I can just hit them again. Probably let's take out Izumi. Alright, so it's next cycle. So Izumi has increased her own crit chance, which can be an issue if it's a high level Izumi, because then it'll hit you for a metric ton of damage if the chance happens, which usually is a pretty big threat, but we don't have to worry about that since our tank, if that gets to the point, actually they'll be dead before she is gonna hit a lot harder. Okay, I don't have enough BP to actually use my Air Blades, which sucks, but her basic attack still has a damage increase, so it's still pretty good. Yeah, 469 damage from Micah, that's fantastic. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I can actually attack. Chloe does, I think, the lowest damage out of everyone, so don't rely on her to do much of anything except doing that damage buff and then letting you nuke. I'm actually able to do Air Blades now, which is really nice. And then, yep, taunt again. So turn 5, I have taunt. They cleared my buffs, which I kind of just lost a bunch of BP just now, but that is perfectly okay because this match is actually going in my favor significantly. Okay, now I usually want to heal for my tank. Yeah, I'm gonna heal. So when you heal, you don't actually get any BP, and Chloe has pretty good heals too. Of course, characters have a higher heal percentage than Chloe, but with having a damage buff character that can also do a heal, um, is really, really nice combination. Tanks do pretty good damage. Shockingly, some tanks actually can do quite a good amount of damage. Every time you are able to pick air blades up, and the situation is good for it, you always want to do that. Since I'm not going to be able to get my damage buff up again, that's okay. I don't really need it. I'm gonna attack. Yep, and you'll be right there. And you can see the crits. Um, so yeah, it's fantastic damage. And it certainly can push the character. Like, it can really make the most out of character. Even having a slight damage increase makes a mass amount of damage, especially if you're hitting the entire team. Looks like I just need to kill Izumi real quick. Sometimes it's best to just repeatedly do basic attacks, especially if you're in kind of like the situation where you just need to do more damage to take out the main threat, which is the damage dealer. So I'm just gonna make sure I take her out. And there you go. So, Aiden healed himself, which it's it's a good heal, but I am definitely fine. I can use my air blades. I can, but there's no reason to. Usually I recommend only using air blades if there's two or more. If there's one enemy, just keep using basic attacks. It's the highest damage you can do. Oh, why did he hit Ava? Well, that's annoying. Okay, well, Ava has Tornado, so that would keep me, let me do an extra ton of damage. There we go. Okay, this seems good. Attacking him. Attack you. I could do a Tornado again. Okay, they can't attack. There we go. Yeah, Aiden is a monster to take out because he's a self-sustaining tank. But it's definitely manageable. Uh-oh. Just 160. I'll see what happens when I do this. Ah, does that work? No? Oh, so close. But yeah, those are the three common builds of using only the general rough basics of characters. That fight I probably could have won that if the tank didn't heal, but sometimes RNG just screws you over. It happens. But I think that's gonna be it for this video. If you have any questions, just ping me in the official server, and I will help you out. And yeah, I mean, that's it. Thank you all for watching.